Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at and installing two new latches on my RV. They're both from the RVLock company. The first is this wireless handle that's got a keypad and a wireless key fob. And the second is this mechanical latch for the rear door. This latch is key to light to match the first one. Hi, this is Jason from Weekend RV Adventures, and on this channel I talk about camping tips and reviews and all kinds of things camping related. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and think about clicking the subscribe button to see more. Now, let's take a look at what's inside the package. I'm sure if you're like me, your camper's got several keys that you don't like carrying around with you. So hopefully with this new wireless lock, if I go down on the hiking trail or go to the pool, I'll be able to leave the keys at home and just type in the key or use this key fob. So we've got the key fob, some bubble wrap, we've got the latch, an instruction card, and some hardware. Let's open up this latch and see what we've got inside. Sorry if that's a little noisy. So here's the latch. We can see our set of keys. Here's the latch with the keypad, and on the inside, the deadbolt lock, the battery cover, and an on-off power switch. It has a nice weight to it and feels like a pretty substantial lock. Now, I'll move this one to the side and we'll take a look at the mechanical lock. See where we can open it here. So for the mechanical latch, we also have another strike plate and hardware, more bubble wrap, the new latch, another set of keys. And there we go. This one looks pretty standard, but the keys should match the two. So let's test that out. So here's the keys from the mechanical latch. And let's see if that fits into the wireless latch. And it looks like it does. Now it did look like there may be two different keys, one for the deadbolt and one for the lock. Let's check the numbers here. The same key should work both. And it did. Now I'm going to go read through the instructions. Oh, and again, there were instructions with the mechanical latch. But I'm going to go read through those instructions and get some tools, and I'll get back with you in a minute. Alright, I'm back here on the first door, and it looks like the only tool I should need is a Phillips screwdriver. So we'll get started here taking the first latch off. This is the latch I'll be replacing with the wireless latch. This is the main door into my camper. There's 4 screws on the front here. Once these 4 screws are off, I should be able to just remove the latch. I'm trying to be careful here that the latch doesn't fall off on the other side as I remove this last screw. And there's the back of the latch off. Okay, with the back of the latch removed, now I'll remove the strike plate, well, from this side. Just dropped one of the screws, but hopefully I'll be able to find that. Okay, the plate's been removed, and now the latch should come right out of the door. I'm gonna wiggle it around a little bit here, and there you go. The latch is fully removed. I'm gonna get the new latch, and we'll be back to put that in. Okay, I've got the new latch and the new hardware ready to go. So let's go ahead and give it a try. With the new latch, be careful not to pinch these wires feeding them through. Get that lined up with the hole in the door. Pull those wires around. Well, I ran into a bit of a problem. I had ordered the compact latch, and as you can see, it doesn't cover the hole in my door. My finger fits below the latch. So after a little comparison here, let me get it out. Here's the wireless latch, and here is my original latch. As you can see, in the original latch is quite a bit taller than the new wireless latch. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to be sending this one back and exchange it for the larger version. This may create an issue because my rear door has the same size latch as the front door, and I don't know if the mechanical latch is available in a larger version. Once I get that swap back out, I'll get back to the install. Well, I'm about a week and a half into this quick and easy 10-minute install, but I think I finally got it worked out. You saw how the RVLock, the keyless lock, did not cover the hole completely in my door, and I thought I had just purchased the wrong model, that I needed the full size instead of the compact. Well, after talking to RVLock company, they informed me that they don't make a lock big enough for the cutouts in my door. My Cougar has an exceptionally large handle, and it's a non-standard handle that they just don't make a part for. So I had two options. I could either return it for a refund, or I could keep the locks and make an adapter plate that would fill the gap between the hole in the door and the lock. Since I work at a machine shop and I really wanted to have these wireless locks for when we go hiking or swimming, I decided to make that adapter plate. And what I ended up making was two adapter plates for the mechanical lock. That's the one without the fob or the keypad. One for the inside and one for the outside. And then I also made an adapter plate for the outside of the keyless lock. That's because on the inside that has the battery compartment, and that takes up enough space that I didn't need an adapter plate on the inside. It fully covered the opening in the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to silicone around the opening in the door, put the adapter plate on first, and then I'll use the gasket that's built into the lock to seal the outside of the adapter plate. So we'll take a look at how that install goes. If you're interested in getting some of these adapter plates, if you have the same locks I do, the lock is made by the lock is made by FIC, and I'll put the dimensions and information on how to get a hold of me in the description of the video below. That'll link to a blog post of a full review article I'm doing on these locks. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the install. Start off by applying this thin bead silicone around the door. Not too worried about it being pretty because it'll be covered up. I just want to make sure that it's all the way around. Now I've already placed the latch onto the adapter plate. I'm going to go ahead and carefully get that in there without messing up the silicone. Okay. Almost forgot to tuck the power cable up underneath, so I'm going to go back and add a little more silicone. The power cable scraped some of the silicone off that I had under this edge. Before moving to the inside, I'm going to install the latch plate on the end here. So I'll just slip that over and get the first screw lined up. While I was testing my templates for that adapter plate, I had this door on and off quite a few times, so I've upgraded to using my drill instead of doing these by hand. Now, before I snug that up, I'm just going to check, make sure everything's aligned correctly. And it looks like it is, so I'm going to go ahead and snug those down. Okay. Adjusted the torque a little bit there. I didn't want them too tight. As you can see, that's securely mounted. Now to mount the inside. First step is to take this electrical connector and plug it in to the other side of the lock. And I heard a little beep there to let me know it was connected. Now I'll tuck these wires up inside so they don't get pinched. Rotate the lock lever to the right position to match the lock, and get the first screw started. Okay, now that those four have been somewhat secured, we'll check the outside. And the outside is looking pretty good there. So I'll go ahead and, actually it's a little twisted, so I'm going to adjust that a tiny bit before I snug it down. Okay, now that everything's in and snugged down, I'm just going to check the operation of the lock. Looks like we have good operation on the deadbolt and the latch. We'll close it, make sure it latches securely. And that's nice and tight. And it opens. Now I'll move on and do the mechanical latch on the back. Again, the reason I'm installing the mechanical latch is just so that I have the same key for the front and the back. That'll eliminate one key out of my key ring. Alright, now I'm going to move on and do the same thing on the back lock. And I apologize for the wind noise. It's been a little stormy here today, but I'm going to try and get this done before it starts raining again. So, again, we'll pull off the 4 screws on the inside, just like before. Take off the old inside latch. Remove the 2 screws from the latch plate on the front. And then slide the old latch out of place. Once again, I'm going to put a thin bead of silicone around this opening. I had considered reusing the foam rubber gasket that was on the factory latch, but when I put the foam rubber gasket under here, it made it too thick and you couldn't get an alignment because the adapter plate's already taking up some of that thickness. So the silicone should be fine. If I do sense any water leaks, see any water pooling at the bottom of the door, I can always go back around the adapter plate and seal it from the outside as well. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and install the latch, being careful to try and not hit the silicone while I'm doing that. And there we go. Now I'll go around and install the latch plate on the side again. Get the bottom one started. Okay, now that those are in, they're not snugged up yet, they're just in a little loose, just enough to hold it in place. I'll get the inside lined up and then tighten everything down. Like the outside of the mechanical latch, I'll be using a adapter plate to fill the hole and then the latch on top of it. So I'm going to line those up and then line up the door lock. I think lining up the lock is the trickiest part of this install. Now with both of those pieces lined up to each other, I'm going to put one of the screws in and get that started. Now that that's kind of holding everything in place, we'll put the other 3 screws in. Like on the other door, I'm going to go ahead and check the alignment on the outside, make sure everything looks like it's lined up. And you probably can't see that, but everything looks good on the outside, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten down all the screws. Hook all these up. And snug up the 2 outside latches. Okay, now that all the bolts have been snugged up, we're going to test this latch out too. And nice secure lock. And it opens. Well, now that everything's installed, all I've got left to do is program the keypad and program the key fob. I'm going to start by testing the default lock code, which is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll give that a try. And there's a lock, and the door will not open. Pressing the unlock button does nothing, so we'll type the code in. Unlock, and there we go. Let's take a look at programming your own code into the keypad on the RVLock compact keyless handle. I've tried it a couple of times now and found out that you have to be quick or it'll time out. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the process with you before I do it, and then I'll do it quickly. You're going to press down and hold the 8 key and then the lock key until you hear a long beep. Then enter the default code 1, 2, 3, 4 and press the lock key. Now you can type in your new code and press the lock key, and then a second time to confirm it, you'll type in your new code and press the lock button again. At that point, the lock should be functioning with your new code. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to cover it up. And that long beep confirms that my new code has been accepted. So now I'm going to go ahead and give it a try with my new code. And that was a lock, and it unlocks. So again, you've got to go through the process pretty quick or it'll time out. Another feature is if you press and hold the lock button, it'll activate a quick lock mode, but then you'll have to use your keypad or your lock or the fob to unlock it again after that. Now let's program the key fob. The first thing you'll want to do is turn on the switch here on the back of the latch. That switch enables the use of the key fob. When it's turned off, you can't use the fob but it does help conserve the battery life a little bit. So with the switch on, we'll go ahead and press the learn button. And I just used the head of this small screw. Now I'll press the lock button on my fob. And that beep should be all it takes. Now, pressing the lock button again, you can see the latch and the unlock button. It's unlocked. And that's it. The instructions do say that it may take 2 or 3 presses of the lock button to get the code programmed into the handle, but in my case, 1 click was all it took. Although the install didn't go quite as easy as I had hoped, I'm happy with the end result, and I can't really fault RVLock for not having a lock that'll fit every possible scenario. With so many RV manufacturers and parts out there, it's understandable that it's tough to make a one-size-fits-all product. Again, if you're interested in the adapter plates I made, check out the link in the description below. I'll have all the exact dimensions of the RVLock handles, the original factory handles, the cutout dimensions, and the dimensions of my adapter plates. So if you're in the same situation, you can contact me and I'll let you know what I made, or I can help you by possibly supplying you some adapter plates if you need them. There are a couple things I'd like to point out that are in the manual here for the lock. One is that when you're programming your lock code, it can be set to any code. They recommend 4 to 6 digits though. So that's a 4 to 6 digit keypad code. Also for the fobs or remotes, they have the key fob that looks like this key fob here that I've got. They also have a remote that mounts onto your camper that's a fixed remote keypad, and each fob can have 2 lock or unlock functions. Now each fob can also operate up to 10 keyless handles. So that means if you have more than one RV, or if you get the baggage door locks that are a new product from RVLock, then you can use your same fob and operate all of those locks. So you could press the button on the fob and unlock your doors and unlock your baggage doors at the same time, or press the lock button and lock them all up at the same time. That's something I'll consider in the future, is upgrading my baggage locks. They also offer a new cam lock that allows you, for your water door or your front compartment on a fifth wheel, if you have cam locks, it'll let you open and close that lock with the same key as the doors. So again, my goal is to reduce the number of keys on this ring here, and I guess I'm off to a good start. So again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. And if you'd like to see another video, just go ahead and click or tap the screen over here. And I hope to see you again soon. Happy camping.